Alright, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Welcome to my Joseki Lecture 19. Before we go into today's content, I would like to show you guys something. So go to your browser, if you're using Chrome or anything, just go to your browser, type in Weiqi 101 and hit enter. And then click on the first link. So we're going to Weiqi 101 website. If you have watched my previous videos, I've mentioned this site as well. So this site, guys, is the Wikipedia of Go. It's the dream for any Go player who wants to study Go. This just facilitates everything, and you don't have to buy a single book anymore. Because of what? Because of something I've discovered. So click on this link right now. Okay, so this means register. You just need to go ahead and register. So the first tab is username. All right, and then you will have whatever, whatever at gmail.com. I know many of my users don't speak Chinese, so but don't worry, I'm just to make sure that everything is fine. So this is a 3660. Right, so this is if you have registered for anything in your life, this shouldn't be too hard. And then finally, what's the most important is you select your level properly. You tell Weiqi 101, hey, my level is right now 4K, right? So you can just pause the video and then do it. So username, email address, password, your level, and then a robot, basically a robot code, making sure you're not an AI. And then finally, you just click on this green button, and it will send to this email address, which is your email address, a confirmation email. And then you click on the link; it will link you back to pretty much this page. And then, for you to log in, I think let's go back to You'll come back to this page, and then you click on login, and then you can just go ahead. The first one is again your username, and then your password, whatever password you registered. So that is, my friend, how you would get an account with Weiqi 101. So what's the benefit of getting an account with Weiqi 101? Well, I have an account with Weiqi 101, and this is how my interface look like right now. It's different from if you don't have an account, you have a different interface. And the most important and most useful link, guys, is not this one, it's this one over here. This is called homework, right? So Weiqi 101 builds homework for you. Well, what does it look like? Let's click on it. So as we can see, I just registered recently, and I had my first homework February 16th. I finished it, and it gave me some stats. Like I only got 50%, and I have spent almost an hour on it, and I finished it at 4 days after. So I'm terrible at following up with my homework, but my point is there's a new set of homework that is waiting for me. How does it look like? Well, you can just go in here, and there you go. You have all the homework, and all these homework fits your level. Right now they're all like 4D 5D problem. How do they look like? Well, you can just go in, and it's like the problems, black plays first, obviously, and then this is likely trying to kill white, or you have to figure out what is going on with your judgment, and you play the best move, and you have 2 attempts. All right, so I currently would have 10 questions. This is the default, so I have 10 problems per day, but that's a lot, right? That's too much, probably too overwhelming for you. Well, how do you change that? This is the most difficult part, but if you follow exactly what I do, it's a piece of cake. Go here, so go to this link. I'm clicking on this link. All right, so and then now you need to click on the first link. This is editing your settings. So you go to your setting. Don't understand anything? No problem. Go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. This is the number of problems I would receive every day. All right. So you don't want that. You can go ahead and just say, hey, I only want to do 2 problems. And what does the 75 mean? It means 75 problems max per day. But I mean, who does that many problems, right? Apart from the world champions. But yeah, so there you go. I would get 2 problems per day if you set it this way. And then always remember to click on this green button, that is to save whatever setting you have done. So very straightforward. Weichi 101 made it super awesome, and yeah, and everything is pretty insane. Like all the functionalities behind those, it's an awesome site that you can use to study Go. So I'm gonna save my setting, and then you know, I'm back. How do I go to my homework? Always remember this link right here. Anytime you don't know what is going on, go back to this link. It shows you a list view of your homework, and then obviously homework that does not show you the time, does not show you completion date, obviously that's a new homework that you can work on. Very straightforward, but the only thing you need to do is to create an account with Weichi 101. So really it's not a hard thing to do, and then you will get with the setting that I talked about, you can set how many problems you get every day, and remember, these problems are not just life and death. Okay, they're also sometimes is mid-game fighting problems, sometimes could be end-game problem, all kinds of problems, right? So really, which one is doing everything to fit your needs and stuff like that. So excellent tool that you can use, guys. Like, why do you still buy Go books? Why do you still read about Go stuff? Like, you know, like don't read. Use the technology. Use this site. And how many problems can you solve? The max is 75. I mean, you know, you will definitely not have a lack of problems, right? So, and I guarantee you guys, if you guys can do even like 3, 4, or 5 problems per day, you'll see your rank like skyrocket very fast. Anyway, this is an aside, but I think it's a very important tool for you guys. All right, so just don't worry if you don't understand language. Just follow every step I have done, and then you will be fine. All right, so following from a last lecture, I want to quickly cover. Sorry, we are out of Kema defense now. We are working on. Right, we are working on the jump defense. So last time we covered that, hey, look, you can defend like this. This is no problem, right? So this is an equal game. Black will come into 3-3 or do something else, right? Like this is a equal game. All right, that's an equal game. And what else did we talk about last time? We can also make this weird looking Kosumi, which is a legit move. If black overplays, we have this way to punish. So go back to my previous video, I covered all that. And obviously we also briefly covered, now we have a Mii situation, we can pincer and pincer. Black can only defend against one pincer, likely he's going to defend this more serious pincer, and the game will keep going from here. So that's last time's material. Today we'll talk about more fierce variation. That is for white to kick here. And it's kind of, it's actually a very good move against your opponent. It's putting max aggression onto your opponent, and it's a legit move. Well, first of all, let me first conclude something. I don't recommend my viewers to play this one. What do I recommend? Well, I will talk about in the following series. But basically, I really like this extending back. If you really want to know right now, and also this this move, right? Very easy to understand, and eventually, if you really like territory, I also recommend you seriously, but I'll cover them in future videos. The reason I would go ahead and start with this move is because first of all, these points, I want to make sure that they show sibling variations, show next moves. Okay, let me see what is going on. Let me get rid of all that. Alright, the setting was a little bit weird. Sorry about that. So, I don't recommend you to play this move. It's mostly because white has this against black, right? This is a very hard to deal with move, guys. I think it's very complicated, but in the meantime, it's a double-edged sword. I don't really know. I think obviously my viewers have a variety of play styles, right? Some like fights, some just like love fights, and they just go for aggression and aggression and aggression. I gotta cover some of those. So if you are a very aggressive player, you really like fights and you believe in your fighting skills and all that, no problem with it. This is the move that you're waiting for, because this variation is that at this point black obviously has two cuts, right? And there's the outside cut and there's the inside cut. The inside cut is extremely complicated. It's almost like an avalanche from the old times. And I will briefly cover this one today. I'll briefly cover both today, just to give you an idea. But if you want like a master level of this Joseki, you can check with an AI, and you probably study for days and still can't figure out everything. But I mean, double-edged sword, once again, it could be your secret weapon, right? Like if you understand how to play after this, it's an absolute secret weapon that only you have, right? Like if you play against me, let's say you're playing against, let's just say you play against someone who is much higher than you in terms of rank. This is a perfect place to trick them or drag them into a fight that they're not familiar with. But anyway, let's first talk about what if black cuts from the outside. Well, to basically defend against this cut, white will Atari first, right? So here, black usually does not want to play this one because this clean capture is kind of huge, and seems like black has some sort of way to capture these two guys, but not really, right? Like if you play this one, if you play this one, I think white can still have this option, and as we can see, obviously this is not going to work out, right? So it's very hard to catch these two. I think the best move is probably this one, but white will still struggle something out locally, and here we already have a big loss. So black's correct move is to extend onto the second line. White will follow up by protecting this serious weakness. And here it's black's crucial move. Black needs to squeeze here, right? So before black runs these two, black needs to squeeze. And here white cannot rush to capture the two stones because black has a very nice sequence. Black blocks here, forcing white to protect these two while capture these. But then this is going to be the variation. Not only black gains the corner, but also tremendous influence towards the right side. So this is not acceptable for white. White's win rate probably dropped by 10% if you follow this one. Correct move is for white to stay solid and defend the corner. And now black's going to turn here. So that's a very nice move. White's correct move is to extend, to put max pressure onto these stones. And now black has a Tetsuji, that is to attach. And white turns. Black Ataris, white's going to run. And then black plays this one. Now it's threatening to ladder these two. White says, no problem, I'm going to stay still and then extend. Now this is forcing black to do something, but black says, you know what, I'm gonna capture you guys. And then white captures. So each side captures 3 stones, and then black peeps right away, and the game keeps going from here, right? So white gained a lot over here, but it's limited by black's Kema move right now. So overall, what is going on is white has some more territory, but black still got something. So the game should be equal from here. So this is the outside cut variation, and I will briefly work on the inside cut, which is the most complicated. White will follow the same pattern usually. There are obviously some other variations, but I'm going to talk about main variations when black turns. Right. So at this point, white connects. That's the best move. When black turns, these 3 guys has a lot of way to basically escape. So white will Hane here. That's the correct move. And black is going to Atari in the corner when here white has a lot of options. I will just present you guys the main one. So white's going to Atari here. Here black does not really want to take, even if the corner seems to be alive, but what black lost from the outside is just too much. Even if you play this, that's even worse, right? This is captured. These 2 guys are pretty much dead. So black's correct move is hoping to capture these 2. And white now has 2 main variations. One is to play the simple one, that is to just take it. That's fine. We go for the trade, and then white has a very nice move to enclose black in here. So in this way, black got a, like a medium small-ish corner, but white is able to enclose the entire outside. What is good for black is black gets a sente. So the game is probably equal from here. It really depends on how white's gonna make use of the outside. But I personally like white because black really does not have much territory. But the recommended one is obviously to connect here. It's more intuitive. We want to protect our territory. Black will extend here, and then white needs to immediately fix this problem, right? There's Atari here. Black Ataris, and then turns here. White Hanes, and then black jumps. White will crawl here. Black now, very important to Hane here, right? Very, very important to not extend right away, because if you extend right away, white will go ahead and extend right now. So big problem. White wants to crawl, and then at this exact time, black needs to Hane. White cannot pretty much not play this one because black has an Atari here. That's way too serious. If you extend, look, your stones here are dead. So white just does not have time, but that's okay. White will extend. Black will extend. White will turn here. Black will make sure like he is okay here, and then or if you're worried about these guys, you can just go ahead and Atari right away. All right. So at this point, black will make a ko here, and then black's correct move is to play out this turn, because right now this is the beginning of the game. It's very hard to find a ko threat, so black will just say, hey, I will be happy working on my right side, and white finish the variation by playing the block here. Well, this already gets rid of a ko because black cannot start a ko because white can capture. All right, so quite complicated. This is already a simple variation out of all the branches, and then that just shows you how complicated it is locally. This is a big avalanche. It's just a new time, AI time, big avalanche. Super complicated. So, and don't worry about it if you don't fully understand. But I'm just telling you, that is white. If you want to defend against black's aggression, you can honey here. When black tries to protect the corner, we can just do this. And if you really don't like complexity, right? Like, I mean, this is not bad for white at all. This is AI recommended. You will work on top side, you will work on right side. Your flower is quite strong, so not much to worry about, really. So yeah, so I'm mostly talking from white's perspective, like in terms of how whites can defend against black's aggression, but it's because mostly I don't recommend black to make this peep, even if it's like the AI move. But if you like aggression, if you like studying complicated josekis and stuff like that, you can go ahead and play out this one in your game and defeat your opponent with your secret weapon that you built with your AI software and stuff like that. So a great place to build your weapon, but I will not like go crazy about it. So I just want to quickly recap. So today we covered this kick, and then we said that when black cuts, white is going to Atari, and then very important for black to turn. When white extends, there is this turn here, and then black has a Tsuji to go for a trade. And then when black close here, this is forcing to basically ladder, so white extends to break the ladder. And then we have a very interesting trade over here, and the result of that is probably equal position for both sides. The outside cut is it's a lot simpler. What is difficult is the inside cut. When this happens, black turns, white's gonna honey here, black will Atari, white's gonna Atari like this, and then well, you obviously have the question why white does not just connect. Well, that's one of the branch variation as well. So that is why it is a really complicated joseki. But today we covered the Atari over here. When black Ataris, I introduced a very simple defense. Right? Looks like we got 2 stone sacrifice, but that's actually okay because we're able to form a very solid wall, and this wall cannot be broken very easily because after this, this guy is in a very awkward situation. So when you jump here, you don't need to have any worries because your position is just perfectly fine as white. This will generate you a lot of value towards the right. This will generate you value towards the top. So, but if you like territory, right, like just like most of the players, no problem, you can just connect like that. And then you have to absolutely block here. And then black will turn here, make sure you honey here. When black jumps, you can go ahead and crawl here because you want this group to be safe. Black will make the order very important order move, that is to honey. When white extend to prevent this Atari, black can now extend. White can go back now to capture. Black will play this, white will extend. Black says, hey, you know what? I don't have enough co-threats. I'm going to give up this one by turning here, which generates huge value towards right side. White says, no problem. All this territory is mine, along with the potential to work on the top side. So at this point, the position is equal, and the reason is that black has a lot to work on towards the right side. But in detail is that black later on obviously has co-threats in this corner. That's also value. On top, black has a sente, right? He can go ahead and push here later on. He can start working on a very scary moyo right now. So equal game moving on for both sides. Alright, so this has been a long video, but hopefully you like the tool that I introduced, and then hopefully you feel more confident defending against the AI move. We covered the outside, we covered the outside cut, we covered inside cut. So should be pretty useful if you actually encounter this joseki. So in the next videos, we'll cover simpler stuff. that are easier to manage and master. So for now, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I will talk to you guys next time.